Hello artists! I'm Miss Jen with your hands-on art project today. Today we are going to make a furry fox sitting in the moonlight, and we are going to use basic shapes, value, and texture. But first, let's learn all about foxes. Foxes are mammals that have a long pointy nose, triangular ears, and a big bushy tail. They may look a lot like cats, but they are actually part of the dog family. In fact, male foxes are called dogs and fox babies are called pups, while female foxes are called vixens. Foxes live on every continent in the world, from the deserts to the forests, the mountains, and the Arctic. They make their home, called a den, by digging a burrow in the ground, where they store food and sleep during the day. Foxes are nocturnal, so they are mostly active at night. They eat both plants and meat and are very clever hunters with an incredible sense of hearing. Foxes are usually red, brown, gray, or white, and one species, called the Arctic fox, actually changes color. They are gray in the summer, but their fur turns white in the winter, so they are camouflaged in the snow. It may seem challenging to create a fox, but by using the elements of art, it's not hard at all. What are the elements of art? Well, there are 7 of them, and every piece of artwork ever created is made up of at least one, but usually many of them. They are line, shape, color, value, texture, form, and space. Our Moonlit Fox project is made up of a few of these, but let's dive into value, shape, and texture. Value is the lightness or darkness of a color. When we add white to a color, we tint it, which makes it lighter. When we add black to a color, we shade it, which makes it darker. We can create moon glow in art by using value. Tints make the sky look brighter when placed around the moon. Shades make the sky further away from the moon appear darker. Shape is a flat enclosed space, such as a circle or a square. We can draw a fox by breaking it down into simple shapes. Triangles for the face and ears, rounded shapes like an oval for the nose, or a sideways raindrop for the tail, or a star-like jagged zigzag shape for the fox's chest fur. Texture is the element of art that describes the way something feels or looks like it could feel. The types of marks that we make with our materials affect the way the texture looks. We can use texture to create the look of the fox's fur. Short, choppy marks or strokes and overlapping different colors give the appearance of fur texture. Are you ready to try out these techniques? Let's grab our materials and create a moonlit fox. For this project, you will want 2 pieces of white drawing paper or cardstock, 1 for the fox and 1 for the moonlit background. For the fox, you will need warm earth tones like red, oranges, and browns in either crayons, oil pastels, or colored pencils. For the moonlit sky, we will be making tints and shades of blue with tempera or acrylic paint using blue, white, and black, or crayons, oil pastels, or colored pencils are a great option too. Grab some scissors and glue as well. Let's start with the moonlight background. If using paint, stay right here. If using the other materials, jump forward about 2 minutes. Using a paper plate or paint palette, squeeze out some blue paint, a bit of white, and just a touch of black paint. We will start with white to create the moon. Using a nice big flat brush, paint a circle about the size of a plum or the palm of your hand. Placing the moon off-center will ensure that our fox won't cover it up when you collage it onto the background. Now we will begin making tints of blue to paint rings around the moon. Add a touch of blue paint to your white paint to create a light tint of blue to paint around the moon. For your next tint, add a touch more blue than you did the last time. Overlap that first ring that you created. Each concentric circle should be a little bit darker than the last. Continue creating darker tints of blue, adding more blue and less white as you go. Overlap each layer and continue painting in a circular motion even when the circles run off the page. Once you reach the point where you are using pure blue, you can begin to create shades. Add a touch of black to the blue to create a shade. A little goes a long way, so just a touch. Continue creating darker and darker shades until the entire paper is filled with moon glow. When finished, you can set this aside to dry. If you are using crayons, oil pastels, or colored pencils, grab white and black and all the blues that you have. Place them in order from lightest to darkest to create tints and shades of blue. Using white, we will make a circle for our moon. If we place the moon in the center of the paper, it may be covered later by our fox, so placing it a bit off-center towards one of the corners will ensure we can see it. Draw a circle about the size of a plum or the palm of your hand and fill it in with white. If you are using colored pencil, you don't need to worry about filling it in, as the white of the paper is just fine. Add another circle around the moon with your lightest blue, blending into the white and moving out. This is the beginning of your moon glow. Continue adding circles around the moon using your blues, moving from the lightest blue to the darkest. Each layer of blue should overlap the layer next to it, creating even more tints of color. Your circles will eventually run right off the page, but keep coloring in a circular motion around the moon, filling in all 4 corners of your paper. Once you reach your darkest blue, begin adding black to create shades. Try not to let any of the white paper show through. If using oil pastel, you can blend the colors together with your finger. If using crayon or colored pencil, try going over your layers one more time, just to ensure that all the white spaces are filled in with color. When done, set it aside and let's work on the fox. Let's gather our materials in warm colors and earth tones. I will be using crayons for mine today. We can use simple lines and shapes to make our fox, like an upside-down triangle for the face, and smaller triangles for the ears. Slightly curved lines for the sides of the body, a zigzag shape for the chest fur, straight lines for the legs, and a sideways raindrop shape for the tail. No need to use a pencil, just choose one of your lighter shades to draw with. I'll be using a darker shade so you can see it better. Let's begin with the face. We'll be drawing an upside-down triangle. Draw it first with your finger. We need to make sure to leave room for those ears. On top of that, we can add 2 right-side-up triangles for the ears, starting on the sides of the head. Two smaller triangles inside the bigger triangle gives us the inner ear. Now for the face. We can make a nose by drawing a little circular oval right at the tip of that triangle. Then from each corner of the face, we can draw a curved line down to the nose to give our fox some eye patches. Now let's draw the body. From the middle of the sides of the face, let's draw a slightly curved line moving down on both sides. You can make your fox thin or really fluffy, depending on where you draw your lines, and you can always change it as you go. Let's make a fluffy tail by starting with a big letter C on one side of the body. Don't forget to draw first with your finger for extra practice. Now we'll draw a line from the top of the letter C across the body, ending on the other side. and another line from the bottom of the letter C over to meet that point. Let's give our fox a furry chest by drawing a jagged, zigzaggy circle from one side of the face to the other. We can add 4 short vertical or up and down lines for the fox's 2 front legs. And the last detail, 2 small circles within the eye patches for the fox's eyes. Now it's time to add color. Let's start with the lightest colors first. The eye patches and the chest fur and the tip of the tail. We can use white, a light tan or beige color, or a light yellow. Then we can color the rest of the face, the ears, and the body, making it a nice, warm, reddish-brown color. You can find the perfect color or blend a few colors together to make the color that you want. We can use darker colors, like a brown, for the inner ear and the legs and the eyes. And we can have fun with the tail, making it all the colors. Once we're done coloring, we can go over our lines once more with a black or a dark brown. outlining all of our shapes, just so our fox just stands out a little bit better. And we can add a few little short lines of color all over to help with the texture of fur. Now let's cut out the fox, nice and carefully, going slowly. And we can glue it onto our moonlit sky background. And you can always add a little more to your background like these artists added snow, trees, and even another fox. Thank you for creating a moonlit fox with us today.